Bonjour à tous, and welcome to the class. So today I'm very excited. Okay, great. Great news. Two news actually. This morning I had a lovely pass at the test, and now I'm actually sitting next to a legend. Yes, so this is my instructor, you guys. Yes, once upon a time I had an instructor. I've learned to drive, and that was long time ago, back in 97. So I'm so happy to have found my instructor, and having him sitting in my car is a legend, you guys. Okay, you can find him on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, name it. Okay, so today I want you, Nicholas, to introduce yourself, and I'm really so happy to have you today. And then talk about driving first of all, and mainly the experience, the first time, when you go for your practical tests. Okay, so you first introduce yourself a little bit.
Well, may I say it's a great pleasure to meet you, because you recognise me more than I recognised you, because you never forget your instructor. But when you reminded me, we had fun, didn't we?
We did.
In East Dulwich.
I know.
You
had an office.
I had an office, and I had multiple cars working for me. And I was one of the first driving schools back in the 80s to put XR3s, XR2s. You can look me up on Instagram and YouTube and see the cars. I had high performance boy racer cars.
Oh wow!
Which may have attracted you.
Maybe.
But
sure.
You came later, didn't you? When did you come?
I came when you had a Ford Focus, I think.
Oh, okay, boring.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you had a Focus. Yes, I remember.
What about my Porsche?
I saw the pictures. I know I did.
See?
Unlucky, but I learned with the card. That would have. I think those cars were also new back then. So the Focus just came up. So it was kind of
Was it
lucky.
a Focus or was it an Escort? I can't remember.
I think it was all I know was a Focus.
Yeah.
It was a Ford.
It was a long time ago.
I think it was a Ford. Yeah,
it
just
was a long time ago.
Yes.
I was only a baby then.
Me too.
And you must be really young as well.
I was young, I was in my 20s.
Were you?
Yes, I took my,
I was about 18. I was about 18 then.
Oh my God, just imagine that. No, you can only go and to become an instructor after 3 years once you pass your practical test, Nicholas. So yeah. So it was 21 or more if you did pass at 17.
That's right. I mean, I trained to be an instructor at the age of 21 because I love cars.
There you go.
I always wanted to be a driving teacher. Back in those days, training was very different, but the exams were very hard.
I know.
The written exams were tough. I don't think a lot of instructors now would pass it because you had to do a written test and a theory test, both together. And then on the ADI exam, you did your driving on the same day as the ADI exam.
Oh, wow.
So you were shattered.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that was tough.
It's quite different now.
It is, and we had check tests. Now we have standards checks, which I think is good. And I'm pleased to say I'm still here after 39 and a half years, I reckon, in the game.
Legend.
You know what? I'm so pleased that I've met you and I've inspired you.
You did. One thing I always remembered, you know what it was?
What's that?
So when I actually obviously took my test in Croydon,
Blimey.
and I told you,
I
booked my test in Croydon.
Oh no, not Croydon.
Take me to Croydon. And then you were like, it's not about going and learn those routes.
Good.
I'm teaching you to drive, so you'll be fine wherever you go.
That's right.
But I was shaking. I was like, oh my God, I've never been. You said, no, I've taught you to drive.
Yeah.
It's about knowing the roads, knowing what you need to be doing on the roads. You'll be fine. So you never took me to Croydon, people. Never. So I went to Croydon.
It was too rough down there.
I
like Dulwich. My Dulwich was a bit dodgy those days, but yeah. I mean, Croydon wasn't my favourite test centre, but I like going there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I like going there. And
very hilly.
Yeah.
And I was learning manual, girl. Okay.
And that roundabout.
I know,
we showed you that, mind you. But I sort of put you in a deep end. But
You did.
Only because I knew that you could deal with it.
Thank you.
You know, when you're an instructor or teacher, you know your pupil. And I felt that you were capable. Although it's really advisable to learn the test route, you don't need to hammer a test route.
Nice.
That's not good
That's
practice.
a very good
But you were a good
advice.
student, I think.
I was,
Remind me.
Yeah.
Loud music on and
Music on. I think, Nicola,
dancing.
you had that thing of helping me to control my nerves as well.
Yeah.
So you were like, okay, let me put a radio for you to relax.
I like it.
And we used to listen to Kiss, and it was like just for me to feel, comfortable.
Good.
Because like you said, once you pass your practical test, you're going to have people talking in your car.
Yep.
radio on.
Yep.
So it's kind of good to have that skill as well, but it also helped me to feel at ease.
Good.
Yes, and that was very good. Also to trust me. So that trust, that rapport, that
Yeah.
was so important.
Yeah.
Because you really like, okay, I'm gonna trust her with this.
Basically, it's called teaching beyond the test.
Oh, nice.
Because
Love that.
when you pass the driving test, it's a bit robotic. You just want to get through it. When you've actually passed your test, that's when you really start learning.
Oh, okay.
So I'd recommend any pupil who's a bit anxious, come back for some refresher lessons, whether it's myself or Mimi here, because Mimi is well capable of
Thank you.
teaching people to drive. I've seen that by the way her business is going, and I think her business is going to grow.
Oh, thank you so much.
I really do, because you're very passionate. Your pupils like you,
Did you?
and great little car, and yeah. And when you think about it, a learner driver. What did you do after passing your test?
So once I passed my test, really, obviously I got myself a little car.
Yeah.
And and then I went with my life, and and then years later, I want to become a driving instructor.
Do you think I had any bearing on that?
Oh yeah, a lot. I was very
Inspiration.
safe on the roads
Yeah,
because
good.
I kept putting things that I've learned, and I became better and better. You won't believe it. Never got into any accidents.
Touch wood. Yeah.
Touch wood.
Touch wood.
Yes.
Yeah.
So because I have to put in place everything, so I did not change my driving.
No,
To be
no,
honest, I did
I
not
see.
change my driving.
Yeah.
I kept what I've
Good.
learned,
Good.
and then got better and better at it. Yeah.
Good.
So that really worked.
There's a few instructors out there who I've taught actually.
Oh, I see
wave at
that.
a
It's
few.
not just me. Lots
No.
of us out there.
Well, you're one of
yeah.
my favourites.
Thank you so much.
I've got a few people I've taught to drive who are in the police,
Oh,
drive police cars.
nice.
Got a couple that drive lorries, a couple that drive buses and still wave at me.
Oh, nice.
Police wave at me sometimes, but as long as they wave me for the right reasons,
There you go.
don't call me over. I've taught a lot of people. I like to think I've inspired a lot of people, and I'm getting near the end now. Not the end, but I take life pretty easy. I only work on recommendation.
Oh,
I don't do many lessons now.
how lucky are those people? Seriously,
Ah,
very lucky.
They're great pupils. I'm very, very lucky,
Yeah.
and my pupils come and meet me places.
That's
So I say if you meet me in Beckenham, you meet me somewhere, and they come meet me.
that's amazing.
Because to
yeah.
be honest with you, Beckenham and round here are the best roads. I swear by West Wickham Test Centre and Bromley.
Okay.
They're my two favourite test centres.
Good tips. Good tips. Yeah.
And nothing too early in the morning because I don't like getting out of bed early.
So, what do you recommend then for people to book their practical tests? Just not too early morning.
Well, it's me. It's me. I think if you go during the school time, that's hazardous.
Okay.
No matter how good a driver you are,
Good tips, you guys. Good
Yeah.
tips. Yeah.
because you're nervous. And why make yourself more nervous? I'm not saying be afraid of an early morning, but the school run, I hate a school run. So avoid that. And also, I'd say another one would be around about the 3 o'clock time.
Okay.
That can be tricky too. But again, if you can drive anywhere. But I'd say my preference would be anything after 10 and anything before 2:30.
Perfect.
There's a tip for you.
That's a tip
That's
for
a tip
you
from
guys.
Nick.
Yes, yeah. And when we started the conversation, you mentioned something which is really true. Actually, you said that I knew that you could go to Croydon and do it, and you knew that I was ready.
You were
isn't it?
capable.
So what would you advise? Because nowadays I know tests are very difficult to find, and people are just booking the test knowing that they're not ready.
Right.
So what is your advice to those who think that, okay, I can still go and chance it, or my test is here, I don't want to change it?
See, the problem is, because it's such a long waiting list, the DVSA haven't helped this situation. People are panicking, and you can't blame them. They're so worried about not being able to get a test, so they're taking tests anywhere and too early because they're worried that they won't get another date. But my advice is, whatever you do, don't book a test way out of your area. Don't book a test where your instructor can't take you there to practice, because if you're an anxious driver, most learners are nervous. Do not go to a test centre that is miles away, because one, it's going to cost you a fortune. Two, you've got to get there, and how you're going to practice in that area. So I'd say book something fairly local and make sure you get a good instructor who can take you around the area and show you the tricky bits.
Okay.
I'm not saying hammer a test route. I'm saying you need to be familiar with the area. So as a tip for you.
That's nice. Lots of tips. Yeah. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
And any final notes for the viewers?
You're doing all right, aren't you? I saw you the other day on the road. Pupils looking very happy.
Yeah, actually, that connection, that rapport is very important.
Very important.
You know, I mean, it's good. I know instructors, we meet them on the roads, and then they take us to driving test, and then we pass, see you later.
Yeah.
But this is for me, I mean, I'm so happy to
It's
have
sad.
found you, and knowing that,
That's what, that's what all the ladies say.
That's all that's
So, yeah, no. And it's great because being a teacher, instructor, finding someone like you is so passionate, it actually makes me feel great. It makes me think, my God, I've done this job and it's been worthwhile. Seeing you, if it's your own business, a top instructor,
Thank you.
you're going to be,
Thank
you know,
so much.
you've passed all your exams, you must be an advanced driver level. So I'm proud of myself and I'm proud of you.
I'm very proud,
And
actually, you know.
I reckon in time, you may have a few cars working for you.
Oh, that'd be great. I'll take that. Thank
You know,
so
I mean, I don't want that now. You know, I want less. But yeah, I can see you in maybe in a year or two, maybe taking a couple of instructors on, and hopefully building a little business.
That would be amazing.
Or just work on your own, whatever suits you.
Thank you.
But another tip is, if you ever get these driving schools that offer you the earth and are offering cheap lessons, I'm not saying people who are low
that's a good
prices
one.
are bad,
That's a good
but
one.
be aware, why would someone charge well below the average? And if someone's promising you a driving test at short notice, it's worth checking because it's very hard to get a test at the moment. And make sure you are ready to take a test. Do not take it early because you'll fail it and then you'll have to start again. And it's a waste of money.
Such a great tip.
Waste of money.
Yeah.
I mean, what you could do is, you know, I mean, obviously I don't do it much now. Get an instructor like myself or Mimi to check test you, mock test you and see what you like and they'll tell you if you're ready.
That's amazing.
And if you're ready, then you've got a great chance of being successful. Pupils fail because they're not prepared properly.
That's it. Yeah. I believe so.
9 times out of 10 they fail. They can get lucky, but they don't make good drivers.
One more thing, because this happened to me. One more thing where I'm sure you came across parents putting pressure on the children.
Yeah. And you.
And thinking that you should be at this level. You know, since you've been taking maybe 10 or 20 lessons, you should be at this level. What do you think? What would be your advice? Mainly, you know, because learners understand they are learning. So parents that are skilled and experienced. And for them, like, you should be at this level since you've been having so many lessons or ready for tests. So the pressure.
I'll tell you what it is. One of the things you come across is, because they're older and they're kids, when I was learning, I only had 20 lessons, I only had 10 lessons. They always say that. My uncle passed on 10 lessons. It's all lies. And back in the old days, when I say old days, 80s, the roads were a lot easier. There were less hazards. Well, not hazards, but there wasn't so many roadworks. There weren't so many bus lanes. There weren't so many cameras.
There you go.
And there wasn't so much traffic. So things were a little bit easier. But having said that, it's a myth. People that say they get in a car, drive it and pass are very rare. I would say to the parents, how safe do you want your child to be?
Amazing.
Do you want your child to be a safe driver, or do you want your child to be a lucky person and passes their test who are not that great or not that safe? I know what I'd rather want. Safe driving with extra lessons if needed.
Amazing.
That's my advice.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, that's the final word. It's about all safety.
Yeah.
Be safe on the road.
That's what I say to them. I say, look, I'm not prepared to let your child go on test if they're not up to a standard. Okay? If I think they're not up to standard, I won't let them go. So they can't use the car. If you want to let them go in your car, that's up to you. But your child is important to you. Make sure they're safe. Listen to the advice of a top instructor.
There you go.
They are.
That is amazing. Oh, you guys, that is amazing. I'm so happy to have you with me today.
Well, anytime.
So
anytime.
more videos ahead.
Anytime.
Oh, I don't. So you guys, if you got any comments, any questions, I mean, feel free. And then again, Nicholas, with your expertise, I'm sure you got a lot of tips to give us in the future when it comes to driving tests, just driving, you know, safety on the roads. I saw your videos on blue lights, on, you know, emergency stop. You drove on country lanes. Lots of videos you got on YouTube and Instagram. Very good tips to give. So perhaps come back in my car again and then talk about tips.
Anytime. And maybe one day we can do like a mock test
Oh, that'd be great.
and see who can pass and who can fail. I'll probably fail. I'll probably fail it.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah. We look at her driving together and say, who passed, who failed?
Yeah. Watch it. You better pass me.
I better pass.
But I've also got a lot of experience in EVs as well.
Oh, okay.
I've done an EV course. I do a bit. You'll see on my videos, I use Teslas quite a bit. I haven't got an electric car yet, but I'm thinking about it in the future.
Oh.
But let's wait and see. But this is a hybrid, isn't it?
It's a hybrid.
Which is doing its bit
it's good.
for the
And I
environment.
went for a sport version as well.
Yeah, you would.
so-
You were always very sporty. Speedy Gonzales.
Yes. All right then. So I shall see you very soon.
Yeah.
Back in the car.
Thanks for inviting me.
Oh my God,
And
my
any
pleasure.
tips and advice, just feel free to let me know. And please, anything you want to ask in the comments, just drop a comment and we'll do our best to get back to you. And be safe driving for life, and good luck out there.
Nice. Say it again. As you always know, my motto, you guys, that if you're driving today, like Nicola said it, be safe on the roads.